Imagine a world of feathered warriors and towering pyramids rising from a shimmering lake. This was the heart of the Aztec Empire, a civilization born in the vibrant valley of Mexico. They weren't always a mighty force. The Aztecs began as nomads searching for a home, but by the 14th century, their fortunes had shifted. Cities like Tenochtitlan flourished, their wealth and ambition growing each year. Then came the alliance. In 1428, a pact was forged between Tenochtitlan and its powerful neighbors. No longer rivals, they became a single force bent on conquest. The Aztec armies became unstoppable, fueled by a thirst for land and the tribute demanded by the conquered. Their gods were fierce, and their rituals were marked by sacrifice. Yet even empires built on blood and glory faced the winds of change. Across the vast ocean, a threat was brewing, testing the foundations of Aztec power. Could this mighty civilization withstand the coming storm? This was the world of the Aztecs. The tale of the Aztecs begins in a world of myth and legend. Some say they called their homeland Aztlan, a place lost to time, its mysteries yet to be unraveled. They were wanderers, the Mexica, one of many Nahua peoples who migrated southward into the heartland of Mesoamerica. At first, these tribes were newcomers in a region where civilizations had already risen and fallen. Like the Toltecs, the remnants of mighty empires stood as faded relics of bygone eras. Cities thrived along the shores of shimmering lakes, locked in a dance of alliances and rivalries. For many years, the Mexica served as mercenaries for various regional powers, ferocity in battle forging their reputation. Then came a pivotal moment. Legend tells of a vision granted to the Mexica. An eagle perched upon a cactus, devouring a serpent. This was seen as a divine sign from their gods, a prophecy marking the place where they would find their true home. Their wanderings led them to an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, and there, in 1325, they founded their capital city, Tenochtitlan. The early years of Tenochtitlan were marked by a struggle for dominance. They sought to break free from the powerful city-state of Azcapotzalco, which held sway over the region. Alliances were forged and broken. Battles were fought on the shores and within the cities. Yet, the Mexica spirit was unyielding. They refused to be mere pawns in another empire's game. This determination caught the eye of a neighboring monarch, the ruler of Texcoco, Nezahualcoyotl. Renowned for his wisdom and patronage of the arts, Nezahualcoyotl was locked in his own struggle against the domineering Azcapotzalco. He saw a spark of potential in the Mexica, a people whose martial prowess could be a powerful weapon. Another city-state, Tlacopan, joined the growing alliance against their familiar foe. And so, in 1428, a pivotal war erupted. This triple alliance will test Azcapotzalco's grip on the region. The Allied forces managed to topple the established order through fierce battles and strategic cunning. From the ashes of the conflict, a new empire was born, one that would come to dominate vast swaths of Mesoamerica and leave an indelible mark on history, the Aztec Empire. With the defeat of Azcapotzalco, the young Aztec Empire was poised for a meteoric rise. The Triple Alliance, formed from necessity, was now a force to be reckoned with. Tenochtitlan, Texcoco, and Tlacopan agreed to cooperate, sharing the spoils of conquest and establishing a system of tribute that would fuel their expansion. But as time went on, Tenochtitlan, the island city of the Mexica, would gradually outshine its allies. The stage was being set for Mexica dominance. Two leaders emerged as the architects of this rising power, Tlacaelel and Moctezuma I. Tlacaelel, a brilliant strategist and visionary, served as the Cihuacotl, an advisor to the ruler akin to a prime minister. His influence extended far beyond mere counsel, and it was said that he held the true power behind the throne. Moctezuma I, skilled in both war and diplomacy, became the Huitlatlani, the emperor who commanded the respect of the Mexica. Under their guidance, the empire expanded steadily. First, they turned their attention to the fertile lands of the Morelos region, where agricultural wealth flowed into Aztec coffers. But ambition knows no bounds, and soon their armies ranged further, east towards the Gulf Coast and south towards Oaxaca. Each victory brought more land, tribute, and warriors to swear fealty. The Aztecs devised a shrewd, indirect form of rule to consolidate their gains. Conquered cities were often allowed to retain their local rulers, provided they pledged obedience to Tenochtitlan and paid tribute on schedule. Imperial tax collectors fanned out across the realm, ensuring the steady flow of goods and riches into the empire's heart. The rebellion was met with swift and merciless reprisals, a deterrent that helped maintain the uneasy peace of Aztec hegemony. But the Aztec Empire was more than just conquest and tribute. Within Tenochtitlan, society was rigidly organized. The nobility, the pipiltin, stood at the apex, and their status was defined by bloodline. Below them were the skilled craftspeople and the MESOAMERICAN, the commoners who formed the empire's backbone. And threading through this tapestry were the Pochteka, the long-distant merchants who doubled as spies and diplomats, lubricating the wheels of conquest and commerce. Religion permeated every aspect of Aztec life. The gods were demanding and capricious, and their favor had to be earned through rituals and sacrifices. Pyramids towered over Tenochtitlan, their platforms stained crimson from the countless offerings made to deities like Huitzilopochtli, the fierce god of war and the sun, and Tlaloc, the rain deity, whose blessing was essential for bountiful harvests. As the Aztec Empire stretched its dominance across Mesoamerica, a transformation was occurring within Tenochtitlan itself. The once humble island city blossomed into a magnificent metropolis. Causeways linked it to the mainland, networks of canals crisscrossed its bustling districts, and markets overflowed with goods from far-flung corners of the empire. At its heart, the Templo Mayor, the Great Pyramid, soared towards the heavens, a testament to the Aztecs' unyielding devotion to their gods and architectural prowess. This was an empire built on ritual and symbolism. Elaborate ceremonies marked the passage of seasons and honored the countless deities of the Aztec pantheon. Processions of priests, warriors, and nobles wound through the streets in a dazzling display of feathered finery and the rhythmic beat of drums. But amidst the pageantry, a darker ritual held sway: human sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that the gods had sacrificed their blood to create the world, and thus it was the duty of humanity to repay that eternal debt. Prisoners of war were often the sacrificial victims, their hearts offered upon towering pyramids as a means to appease the gods and ensure the continued existence of the world. The scale of these sacrifices could be staggering, a chilling testament to the power of belief and the lengths a people would go to preserve their way of life. One such ritual was the feast of Tlacaxepehualitztli, dedicated to Xipe Totec, the god of rebirth and agriculture. This ceremony involved the ritual flaying of victims, the wearing of their skins by priests, and gruesome gladiatorial combats. While such events seem horrific to modern sensibilities, they held deep significance for the Aztecs, symbolizing the renewal of the earth and the constant cycle of life and death. Beyond conquest and sacrifice, the Aztec Empire also produced remarkable feats of engineering. They constructed vast aqueducts to bring fresh water to their growing population. They devised ingenious floating gardens, called chinampas, to increase agricultural yields in the swampy lake environment. Knowledge flowed as well. Scholars compiled histories, scribes painted vibrant codices, and philosophers pondered the nature of existence. Yet, even at the zenith of its power, the Aztec Empire was not invincible. The system of indirect rule created a patchwork of simmering resentments as conquered peoples chafed under the yoke of tribute. And far across the sea, a storm was brewing. Ships bearing white sails and men clad in strange armor were edging ever closer, drawn by the tales of cities built of gold. The fate of the Aztec world hung in the balance. While their empire flourished, the Aztecs couldn't escape a sense of unease. Omens of doom haunted their dreams. Comets streaked across the night sky, a temple mysteriously caught on fire, and strange beings were said to be sighted on the coast. These events fueled a deep-seated fear that their world was teetering on the brink of cataclysm. And then came the foreigners. Rumors reached Tenochtitlan of pale-skinned men who wielded thunder and rode creatures like gigantic deer. At first, these reports were dismissed as fantasy, but as the rumors persisted, Emperor Moctezuma II grew troubled. Could these strangers be gods returned, or harbingers of destruction? In 1519, a force of Spanish conquistadors, led by the audacious Hernán Cortés, landed on the shores of the Gulf Coast. They were driven by a thirst for gold, dreams for conquest, and zealous devotion to spreading Christianity. Cortez was a master strategist, a man of ruthless ambition. He sensed weakness in the Aztec Empire's loose structure. He understood how resentment towards the Mexica could be turned to his advantage. Cortez and his men forged alliances with disgruntled city-states, most notably the Tenochtitlans, who had long chafed under Aztec rule. Bolstered by native allies and armed with superior weaponry, the Spanish pushed inland, leaving a trail of death and disease in their wake. Smallpox, a scourge unknown in the Americas, ravaged native populations, weakening their defenses. Moctezuma, uncertain of how to deal with this unprecedented threat, initially vacillated between diplomatic overtures and threats of force. But the Spanish were implacable, their promises of peace laced with an insatiable hunger for power. The Aztecs, despite their valor, were fighting an enemy they didn't fully understand, one with unfamiliar weapons, tactics, and diseases. The arrival of the Spanish was a cataclysmic event in the history of Mesoamerica. It was a clash of two vastly different civilizations, each with its rich history, beliefs, and ways of war. It was a struggle for survival, ultimately determining the fate of an entire empire. Cortez and his forces marched relentlessly towards Tenochtitlan. Along the way, he orchestrated the massacre at Cholula, a brutal demonstration of power designed to instill fear into his enemies. The news of this slaughter reached the Aztec capital, sending waves of dread through its inhabitants. Moctezuma's indecision proved fatal. He welcomed the Spaniards into Tenochtitlan, hoping to appease them. It was a grave miscalculation. The Aztecs soon found themselves prisoners in their city, their emperor a puppet held hostage by the conquistadors. Resistance flared, sparking a desperate battle in the heart of Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs, despite their courage, were gradually worn down. The once mighty city was plunged into chaos. Buildings burned, canals ran red with blood, and the air was filled with the screams of the dying. After a grueling siege, Tenochtitlan fell. Cuauhtémoc, the last Aztec emperor, was captured, ending an era. Upon the ruins of the Aztec Empire, the Spanish erected a new order. A colonial world shaped by European influences and marked by brutal exploitation arose. The echoes of the Aztec past grew fainter but never truly disappeared. Their legacy endures in Mexico's vibrant culture and the silent stones of forgotten temples. This was the story of the Aztec Empire, a saga of ambition, conquest, and ultimate downfall. If you were moved by this journey, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more fascinating tales from history. Let us know what other civilizations you'd like us to explore.